is up, everybody? Yes, Fran Brown Mondays. Fran Brown, winner at Clemson. Fran Brown, maybe got the university fined $25,000 for faking injuries. Just, neither here nor there. What's 25 large between friends? So, a lot going on in the life and times of Fran Brown. We'll bring you the full press conference, my annotated version here. Coming up, we can, look, there, it's going to be there, right there on the screen, there, in the box that says Fran Brown Press Conference. Revolutionary, I know. We're gonna put it right there. What's up, Devin? What's up, San Diego Qs? Welcome to the chat. We do this every Monday. We get you going. We talk a little Qs football. I'd say those are going to be two of the main topics today. That Syracuse announced officially this morning was fined 25 large for faking injuries, and Clemson was whiny about it, and they were able to prove it apparently easily via video. And much more pressing to Syracuse here going forward is that Steve Angeli, starting quarterback, is out for the year with one of the more obvious torn Achilles that we've ever seen. That happened over the weekend, and unfortunately sad. We get ready for Ricky Collins. We saw Ricky down the stretch. He played okay. We played okay. And we'll see. Yeah, so I'm very intrigued to see how Fran addresses the fine because, remember the Tennessee game? It was Demetrius Samuel and I forget who the other guy was, and it was Fran. Like Fran was standing right there and said, "Get down," and then Demetrius and some other guy got down. I forget if it was Deuce or whoever it was. The other guy hops back up when he sees Samuel on the ground. Demetrius fakes the injury for long enough and is laughing on the sideline after it. So, and then Fran was asked about it after the game. Was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. And why is Tennessee going to complain they won the game? Now, Clemson, so sad, too bad. You lost the game, Clemson, and then, you're bitching about stuff, and I get it. Dino Babers was never one not to. Yeah, Tennessee was also faking injuries the whole game too. But it's fascinating. It's fascinating for sure how this will be handled by Fran, because if he just denies it, come on, Fran. Come on. Don't do that, Fran. Don't deny it. Don't deny it. And I'll be very interested to see the balance and percentage of this press conference. How much is that, and how much is Collins and Jelly, the future of the offense? Fran and Jeff Nixon were both named Conference Coaches of the Week by CBS or something this week. Jeff called, I thought, a phenomenal game on Saturday. How will he adjust his game planning going forward with Ricky? So there's a lot of different aspects of this to unpack. There's a lot of different aspects of this to unpack. Ooh, looks like the things are happening. Things are happening. What do we got? Things happening. There's sound is happening. Podium is there. That looks like Fran.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're going to start with
a comfy-looking shirt again.
After that, we'll come around for questions. Please raise your hand.
Here we go. Fran Brown, Monday, Duke Week.
First off, opening statements. I want to just talk about Steve. Steve's actually getting ready to get surgery in a couple hours. Just thankful that he's on our team. Understanding, knowing we'll have him for 2 more years. A really good football player, a great person. Just sad for him and his family. It's been a nice little journey with him for the time that we've had him to play, and I'm excited about the time they have to come back. If you know Steve from here and at Notre Dame, everyone will tell you he's a great person, just a great kid, class act. And sorry I had to go through it, but it's a part of the game, right? Part of football, part of playing sports, period. Just part of being a human, something that happens. Regarding the ACC fine, we issued out a statement. And go through that. So I'm going to try to move on and not have to speak too much
in
reference to that. So I want to move on with that. And just excited and thankful that we get the opportunity to go out and play Duke. I think Duke's a really good football team. Manny Diaz is a really good football coach. smart, intelligent man. His special teams coordinator, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I think all those guys are like highly intelligent guys, right? They have a team full of just really good football players. I think they play the best football out of everyone we're about to go and play. They play together. You can see they care about each other. They play hard. They play physical, and they all do their jobs. They don't have too many mistakes on the football field. They play physical when you really look at them, and they play together. They run to the ball. On defense, they swarm the ball. On offense, they finish plays. Their receivers are very crafty. They can play well. They got 1, 2, 18, 7. All 4 of those guys are really good. The running backs, number 4, 9. They run the ball. Number 4 the other day finished the game, closed it out with a long run, like a 60-yard touchdown run. I think on the defensive line, number 4 is a really good interior, but 97 and 9 do a really good job. And then just looking at the guys on the outside, number 2, number 0, on both sides of the ball, 0. But they got a bunch of really good football players. And I think this will be the biggest test for us, right, to make sure and see who we are with building the program. It's supposed to be a sold-out game, so when you got a sellout crowd, being able to come and see you play on Saturday at 12 o'clock, you can't ask for more. So excited about the opportunity that we have, excited I get the chance to be the head football coach and coach the team and at this university.
Yeah, not Tennessee, not Clemson. That's the difference.
Coach, after you named Steve the starter in training camp, you talked a lot about how Ricky responded to that and the response that he had and the work that he's put in ever since not being in the starter. How has that mentality helped him to be in the position that he is right now?
I think it helped a lot. I think he was able to help us finish out the game and win. He came in, he threw a touchdown pass. He had some key first down that he threw, and he was just able to command the offense, right? Make sure everybody listened in the huddle and went through it. And it just shows that you got to continue to have faith and just work really hard, and things may fall your way, right? Unfortunately, it had to happen this way because him and Steve grew a really tight relationship. They're watching tape together every night and doing different things. But I'm happy for Ricky. I'm excited for him. I thought he handled everything the right way, and no one deserves the opportunity more than he does.
What's his biggest improvement been since the start of the season?
Just his mental toughness. I'm understanding the fronts and things of that nature. He already has a huge arm, right? He can make every throw, really good at that. But him just being able to stay focused, and he accepted the fact that he was the number 2, and he said, you know what, it's better than what I was before. Just keep working. I know I'm a better football player, and I'll keep working. So when my time comes, I'm going to be ready, and he was ready when his opportunity came.
We'll go to Dan right in front, and then after that we'll go to Chris.
Fran, you made a statement about Steve Angeli and just what he's been. He was leading the country in passing yards. Jeff Nixon, we've seen this 2 years in a row with his offense, with Kyle McCord leading the nation, and now Steve Angeli. I know he's not here right now, and you said you're hoping for 2 more years, but just what you can say about what he did in these first few games and what it means for the future of Syracuse football.
Completed a lot of passes.
His talent already showed itself.
I think that he did an amazing job. First and foremost, I think our offensive staff does a really good job. I think Jeff Nixon is an outstanding man, football coach, father, husband. Like whatever he does it with all that he has, right? And then all the guys that help him, our co-coordinator, Mike Johnson, say the same things, right? But when it comes to just what we do on offense, I know you said for the future, I think you're going to see that continue, right? It'll continue with Ricky. It wasn't like a huge difference of why we picked the guy, right? It took me some time to pick the quarterback. So I'm very thankful that we had 2. Right, I'm lucky and thankful that we had 2, and I hope things will continue to go. You know, you got to come in, take some punches, take a couple little shots here and there, but we'll be fine. And I think that our coordinators, you just spoke highly of the offensive coordinator and our co-coordinator, and I feel the same way. And I think Nuns is a really good quarterback coach, so Ricky will continue to move that on.
And to follow
Jeff is certainly going to be on some lists.
When you stay with the team, you're the next man up. If you leave, if you transfer, you may be one play away from the opportunity. Davian Kerr steps up in the Clemson game, gets that interception, and he worked to have a role on this team.
Awesome.
He stays with this team, and now he's the starting quarterback. Just what it means to have a true family of guys that if they don't have the starting job, they're working to have that place. And we saw Ricky come up, finish the game strong, and Davian as well.
I mean, I think that exemplifies Syracuse, right? When you talk about Syracuse and just what goes on for years and years and years, there's always been people that just kept working and went. So it's a lot of diamonds in the rough, and then all of a sudden you see and realize and know who you are. I think that Davian Kerr has continued to work. When he played last year and he got in the game, caught an interception for us versus Cal, if I'm not mistaken, was able to start from there. And then coming out the first 2 games, he started, though. Like, he was our nickel. And then we moved him over to be able to play some corner because that's where he's a little more comfortable at right now. And it just shows just keep working. I hope that – see, like, everyone on the team doesn't think that way, right? So, like, Ricky's just happens to be the one that's opposite. We got a lot of kids on the team that are upset they may not be playing. I'm dealing with the same thing that everybody else would deal with, but you just hope that since they can see it happen so close that it makes more people gravitate to that, right? You hope that that becomes contagious and it doesn't become contagious to I'm not playing, I'm going to the portal, right? It's just like, yo, let me stick it out because my time will come, right? Especially I'm a freshman or sophomore, or guys such as Ricky and Davian Kerr, who both had 3 years left, and now look at their trajectory, right? They're in now playing. Who knows what happens if you go other places? You got to start all over. You got to be comfortable with the area, comfortable with the coaching, things of that nature. And for them to stay here and do that with me, it was cool, right? I'm a aggressive, demanding coach, so I'm very happy that they that those guys stuck it out.
Fran looks like the episode where Costanza got the cotton jerseys for the Yankees before they shrunk.
Torn Achilles. What is it?
Just his Achilles, he's getting surgery right now, and when they exactly know what exactly it is, then they'll give the information, but he went to get surgery, so I don't want to sit up here and say one thing and then it's opposite, and I just don't want to be held accountable. I've been being held accountable a lot lately, so I got to lock in a little more, right?
So you don't necessarily know like what a time frame would look like until the surgery happens, probably.
He getting the surgery today.
Like recovery, like when he would expect to be.
I mean, usually that recovery is about 6 months, something of that nature completely before he goes back and get it done. I think he'll be ready, hopefully in spring ball, some of that nature. That's why I look at spring ball or right after spring ball.
And then he obviously tried to gut through a first injury in that game. Do you guys think the two are related at all? Did him trying to gut through that first injury contributed to the second?
I'm not sure. I'm not a medical. Like, I coached the game, so I couldn't tell you that, right? I'm not sure.
Do you know what was the first one, a knee or a calf, or do you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I forget. I was just focused
He had a
on
big
the
knee
game.
brace.
Yeah.
Chris, you can pass it right back to Samantha, and then after that, we're going to go to Maddie right
But
now.
reasonable question by Chris there.
Coach, it says in this press release that Syracuse accepts the fine. I want to know, does that acceptance mean that you're also acknowledging wrongdoing, going along with Dart, holding yourself accountable?
No, I'm just really trying to focus on Duke right now, right? For me, I'm trying to move on. We got a tough football team coming. I think the toughest team that we had a chance to play.
Come on, Fran, lean into it.
Those things happened in the last game. We put the statement out, and I just want to stick to everything that was in the statement and get an opportunity. That's why I'm thankful that our athletic director and everybody made sure that we got a statement put out because they want us to move on and get ready for our next opponent.
So that means you're not acknowledging or accepting that?
No, I'm just trying to worry about Manny Diaz.
We'll go to Maddie and
He's
back.
a good football coach.
Hey, Fran. Looking at this Duke team, you said that it was probably going to be the biggest challenge for your team so far. What is it about, the Blue Devils coming off a big win this weekend that makes them so challenging, especially it being a sold-out home game this week?
I just think they're highly intelligent athletes that love to compete. Their coaches created a really good culture there. They won 9 games last year. This is his second time as a head football coach. He's been a DC all over. He has a really good offensive coordinator who was at SMU and done a real good job there when he was there. Now he's doing a good job here. Special teams coordinator who was just a prominent high school football coach who knows the game of ball. So I understand. I just know who we're going up against and the type of guys they are, right, and how they love the game of football. And, it's sort of a rival football game too, right? It's the ACC game, opportunity to be able to compete to get to a conference championship. And anytime you see anything with Duke and Syracuse getting an opportunity to compete against each other, whether it's soccer, basketball, football, whatever it may be, track, whatever we're going against them, it's always got to be it's a little bit of rivalry there.
Got big track beef. Why is this echoing?
Starting quarterback, to have kind of the crowd support behind him, how big is that to be able to have, his first game as a starter here at Syracuse be a sold-out home game?
It's fun. It's gonna be fun. I think he was he's been in it, right? He played at LSU, so he understands that. He understands and knows what that looked like. He shadowed Jaden Daniels, shadowed Myers around. Like, he shadowed two really good quarterbacks, so he understands that. And he got a chance to see Kyle here last year, and then over the last 4 weeks, he's been able to be right behind Steve and handle that also. So I think there's no better place for him to be but to be here. And most importantly, he got my support. Right, he's number 2 in command right now. Like, I believe in him 100%. I'm very thankful that he gets an opportunity to play. Happy that it's him. I'm sad that Steve had to go, but I'm very thankful and I'm so supportive. I think our whole staff, the entire building, we comfortable. We know who Steve is and we know what he's about. Right, when someone works really, really hard, it's like, all right, let's go.
Should we go to Aiden right in front?
Hang on. Let me put something.
Hey, Coach, just looking beyond Ricky, do you have a solidified answer? Who would be the backup? What you see from the competition in the room between Jakari, Luke, and Rich as well?
I just think they're all competitive, and we'll figure that out over the next 2 days. We kind of
Nope.
like an ideal, because I think Luke's been kind of leading that way a little bit, but Jakari's right there also. So, and then you'll have days where Rich will just come out and be look like Joey Hamilton out there, just doing really well. So we got to figure that out. That's something that we're going through right now. So I couldn't pick any one specific kid right now because they're all doing a really good job. But what I do know is they're all tough and will compete. And Coach Nuns will get them ready to be able to see who's going to be the guy.
Yeah, and then just looking at Steve, obviously, I'm sure he's going to be dealing with the recovery and stuff like that. But how do you think his presence can kind of act as somewhat of a additional coach or a quarterback's coach, being in that room with the younger guys and then Ricky as well, especially?
We're gonna do what you said. Yeah, we're gonna do that. That was our mindset already, to keep him around. He'll be everywhere. He'll go everywhere. He got to be at practice every day. The only day he's gonna miss is the day, and as long as they have him out, outside of that, he's at every practice. He's in every meeting. He's still gonna play him, because I think the best teacher for him, for Ricky, is gonna be Steve. Just like Nuns does an amazing job, but there's nothing like having a guy who's your peer that understands and sees what you're seeing and you can talk to and go through it. So he'll be the biggest help, and the type of guy he is with his heart, he's gonna do everything he can to make sure that Ricky succeeds.
Welcome to Third Road WAER.
So, Coach Ewan and Coach Diaz nearly crossed paths back in 2019.
Say that again?
Coach Diaz and you nearly crossed paths back in 2019.
Yep.
He took the Temple job and then was offered Miami, took it, and then you, of course, ended up being on Rod Carey's staff that season. So there's sort of some connective tissue there. Do you have very much background with Coach Diaz? What's your, what's your sort of relationship like with him?
We cool. I could always call him and talk to him. We see each other. We would sit down. We at the ACC head coaches meetings. I'm gonna go sit with him, stuff like that, and we'll talk to each other. There's a mutual level of respect. He decided to hire me there. He left. For me, I wanted to stay in my area at the moment. So we good. He's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a great man. Our kids got to know each other a little bit real quick. My wife and his wife know who each other are. So I got respect for him. I like him a lot. You said, unfortunately, I had to stay at Temple. I wouldn't look at that as, unfortunately, that was a good deal. Getting a chance to work under Rod Carey. So I got to learn a lot from him, but I stayed up here, and that's kind of how I am where I'm at now because of Rod being a kind guy and wanting to keep me on the staff once he got there.
He's able to start traveling.
I mean, let me answer this the right way. Yeah, we have a detailed plan for him after he comes back. I'm gonna make sure that he's gonna be like a quarterback coach, because he'll be right there next to Ricky. Because if he can make sure that Ricky, he's the number one guy that Ricky's gonna feel confident listening to, because it'll be one of his peers that are doing it, and then he's already seen him do it. And I believe that us having this plan, him traveling, him being everywhere, him doing everything, he just can't play. It'll help him mentally, because the first and foremost, the number one thing that's important right now is Steve Angeli's mental. We got to make sure that mentally he stays focused and locked in. It's hard for anyone to go from here and just feel like you're here, even though he's going to be even higher, because he's actually going to have more wisdom and understanding. But just the feeling of that is hard for a young man to go through at 21 years old. So we got a full plan, from the mental health to him getting back on the field, of rehab, to just being around the guys, to doing everything. He's pretty much going to be a GA for the next 9 months until it's time for him to get back on the field. But I'm going to take care of all areas to make sure that he's a complete man. He's already going to be online academically, so that way we can keep him straight and have everything being able to heal the right way. Does that answer your question?
And for the last few months, you mentioned earlier, you've been saying you feel like you have two quarterbacks that can go out there and win you a game. Steve's no longer one of those two. It's going to be either Luke, Rich.
Now they have one.
Do you still have that same faith that you have two quarterbacks that can go out there and win you a football game?
We're going to always have two quarterbacks that can help us win a game. Whoever that other quarterback may be, then that'll be him. I mean, we might end up with three. I'm not sure of that. But again, the name of the game is to develop.
Let's stick with one.
As we continue to develop them mentally and physically, then we'll have the guys that are needed to help us go out and just be able to have one more point than our opponent.
What a Brent in front and a Zach right after that?
Fran, I know you said the statement speaks for itself. Faking injuries was something in college football that was universally accepted, that they had to make a rule about it. I'm just wondering how you feel that the ACC chose Syracuse to make an example of it.
I'm just trying to focus on Manny Diaz and his staff and their players. I felt what I don't want to do is take away from the fact of our players going out and winning a game against one of the better teams in the country, one of the better programs in the country.
But you guys were faking injuries, as is the whole
one
country.
One of the best coaches in the country. You know, they won 8 out of the last 10 8 out of the last 10 conference championships. They won 2 national championships. So I don't want to take that away from them, of what our players done. I try to make it, less than what it is, or, minimize that.
Should just steer into it. Yeah, we did it.
That whatever decision.
So did they. So did everybody. Who cares?
Administration says that's what we're gonna go with. I gotta follow that, and we're gonna follow exactly what we said, and we came out with that statement. And I got to do what Mr. Wildheck stated for me to make sure we move on and let's focus on Duke.
Take questions on Duke from Zach.
Will you fake injuries against Duke?
The onside kick against Clemson in terms of the aggressiveness. What have you seen in terms of the buy-in from your team on special teams so far this year?
They're doing a good job. Our special teams coordinator, Ricky Brumfield, his assistants, they work their butts off. The kids are believing more. They're working more. It's tough for some people to get that done, but he's getting them to buy in and have.
How about SMU? Will you fake injuries in Dallas?
I think with Mr. Jacobs, Coach Jacobs actually coming on staff, that has helped us a lot, especially with our kicking game. Our kickers are confident, understanding and knowing someone that has done it here and has done it at a high level is able to be out there and help compete with us. That means a lot also. So we just all bought in, right? It's the heartbeat of the football team, and we got to keep getting better.
What lessons does it teach campus to fake injuries on family weekend?
This morning that we was going to make that be, we got to step that up a little bit more. I think that Duke's special teams is really good. Really good.
And you talked about in terms of last week, you said Clemson had one of the best defensive lines in the country.
Yeah.
How do you think your group sort of has been gelling in terms of the offensive line for you guys, and how do you think they performed last week, and how do you think they've kind of grown throughout the year so far?
I think they're getting better every week. I think last week was a great job. But honestly, we got to move on. Like Duke is waiting, and they want us to keep worrying about that. They want us to focus on that. We got to focus on Duke. They come here to play. They probably got the better quarterback in the country, right? One of the best in the country. So there's a lot of work that we got to make sure we do on defensive side of the ball to be able to stop these guys. They're a high-power offense. They got a quarterback that can throw and run, and so we got our hands full, and they come to our place.
Yeah, at SMU, they'll fake bigger injuries.
Fran, how have you seen your young cornerbacks mature through 4 weeks so far? Guys like Demetrius, Brahim Long, and Davian Kerr, just with a lot of responsibility.
One of them got it, and you
How
got
do you
mossed.
feel like they've matured with that responsibility?
Well, BJ plays safety. The young corner is Demetrius, and then it'd be Chris, right? Davian Kerr goes in. He plays corner and he plays
And
nickel.
young secondary guys.
Young secondary,
Yeah.
you're saying. I got you. I think they're doing a good job. They're getting better, right? We got a long way to go from what
Fran
we want
hates
it to
people
look
not knowing their
what
stuff.
We all envision it looking like, but I think every week they're getting better, and I'm proud of them. I'm happy for them. I want them to play better this week than they played last week, and I want them to continue to get better. I want them to do better in the classroom this week than they did last week. You know, everything's a constant rise, right? We can't stay the same. The standard's consistently rising. So we're excited. I'm excited about them, though. I like what they're doing. I like how they're playing. I like that they play well together, and they're starting to communicate almost to where I want them to be communicating with each other at.
And then last question to Dan right in front.
Fran, looking at the rushing attack, Yasin Willis and Will Nixon, just what they've done to complement each other and what Ricky Collins can bring to that option that he has with his legs as well, just what the versatility is in the rushing attack as you head into Duke.
It's going to be fun. We'll figure that out, though, right? That's up to Coach Nixon, and then that's kind of on the defense of what they give us that we see if we're able to take. I do think that having Willis and Nixon both running the ball, they complement each other well. We got some other guys that should be getting in there soon, but I think those guys do a heck of a job. And with Ricky, you know, Ricky's a passer first, so he just happens to be able to run, but Ricky got an arm. Like, he's not really a runner all the time. That's what people think, but Ricky throw that ball. Like, that's the main thing that we're going to have to get done with Ricky. He likes to throw the ball.
All right, thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
You're on to the second for player requests.
Any walk off? No, nothing. Okay, there we go. There's Fran Brown. I don't know what that echo was. I fixed it. I don't know what I did. It's magic. Too many commercial computers open or something. We've been monkeying with the basement setup here this morning, changing some things around, trying to make it better for y'all down the line. Yes, Devin, Aronde was great. Whoever was that you, Devin, who asked about the Monmouth basketball game earlier? It's a Tuesday, so my immediate guess would be 7, but no, game times for hoops are not out yet. And if anybody wants to chime in with a quick call, we can make that happen. The link, as always, is available at the top of the chat. But man, that was very not Fran with how he addressed the injury stuff, right? That's clearly coming from on high. And Fran's no dummy. He's gonna listen when he's told to do something from on high, but it's and we all hate faking injuries. I hated it when other teams did it in the Dino Babers era. Orange is the new fast. When they had it cooking, other teams were doing it every week. Dino complained about it every week. Nothing ever happened. So yeah, shoes on the other foot now. Friends, this year, I don't really remember. It must have happened last year. It doesn't pop out. This year, it's happened a lot. The Tennessee game, both Syracuse and Tennessee were doing it repeatedly. The one play with Demetrius Samuel was just like they were laughing about it. Fran was right there. I was like, dude, get down. And they were laughing about it after. So I don't know. I just wish Fran has been so much of a I don't give a bleep guy. You know, Dart. Whoever asked the question that way, phrased it in Dart. What a time to be accountable that would have been. And yeah, did it only come out because Clemson was whining about it? Sure. What a time, though, to be accountable if Fran had said, you know what? Yeah, we did it. Should we have done it? Probably not. But everyone does it, and this finding the school 25 large is probably not the way to get it out of the game. You want to get it out of the game, you need to call something in the game. Like, do you think Fran Brown in the moment was like, you know what, I got to worry about this $25,000? Do you think he was working on it, had his QuickBooks out and was doing the budget on the sideline? You want to get that stuff out of the game? You got to see it and call a penalty or something. Now, I get there are issues with that, and there's a reason the rule hasn't been changed. It's because you don't want to say somebody's faking an injury and then find out he's actually really hurt. Like that's a worse look by the refs, whoever's in charge of that stuff. But the after the fact finding, I don't know. I have not come up with a great solution to that in my ponderings of it over the years. But for as much as Fran is willing to take stuff head on and address stuff head on, I don't know about you guys. I find it one of the most un-Fran things that's happened here in the last 2 years is how Key publicly just addressed that. Very, very not Fran. Very not Fran. I don't know. Just weird. The Ricky stuff, yeah. I'll be really intrigued to see what the game plan is on Saturday. Obviously, I think we've all liked Houston Willis this season. Expect the offense to run through him. And to Fran's point, like we all look at Ricky. Everyone's been talking about Ricky as a runner because every time he's been in there, we've seen him try to run a little bit. He wants to be a pocket guy. He can run, but he's not like a dual threat guy. He was recruited as a passer to LSU coming out of high school. Now, early returns, Angeli throws a better ball than him, but to Fran's point, that was very close in camp. So it'll be very interesting to see where that goes over the course of things. I don't know. I do not know where that's going to go, but lean on Willis and figure out what Collins is comfortable with. And this guy's, we talked about it in postgame on Saturday. And if you want to chime into this show, I'll hang out here for a few more minutes. The link's at the top, as always. We talked about it on Saturday. Comparing last year McCord, this year Angeli. McCord was so good at the out routes, the back shoulder fades. He was good at everything, but those two areas, he was just, I've never seen anybody in college throw those routes quite like that. In the pros, sure, but in college, not so much. Over the middle, he was not quite as strong comparatively. Angeli on the out-breaking routes didn't quite have the arm strength to make, or accuracy that far away to make it happen, but the slants over the middle, man, he was point on. What's Collins' strength in the passing game? I don't know. You don't know. The hope is that Jeff Nixon knows, and that Ricky, self-aware of who he is, knows as well. And I think it'll be very interesting to see starting this week, like, what is that? Because while the offense, the scheme has been very similar to last year, like the quarterback choices where the ball was going has changed based on change of quarterback skill set. Well, now it changes again, so where's the ball going to go? I don't know. Yeah, can we get McCord on the waiver wire? Yeah. I don't know. I'm willing to give Ricky a chance here. Like, to Fran's point, this was close in camp. Like, Ricky Collins was the starter in spring. He was the starter in the spring. Then you bring in Angeli. That was, from all accounts I've heard, an actual quarterback competition. Angeli wins. We saw why. He was leading the country in passing through 3 weeks. But this is not like a wide chasm, a scrub here. Like, this easily could have been Ricky Collins that have started the first 3 games. Would he have led the country in passing? Would they beat Clemson? I don't know. But he's not a bum. He was a 4-star recruit to LSU. There's some talent in there. The question is, all right, he had the spring as the starter. That helps. He had, from everything we heard, at least the first half of training camp, like equitable reps with Angeli. Obviously, with the ones since then, that will have gone down significantly and obviously picked back up this week. Which of the wide receivers, who all get on You Got Moss these days, which of them is he going to have chemistry with? Is he going to be able to spread the ball around like McCord did, like Angeli did, like clearly Jeff Nixon likes to do? Those are the main questions I have this week. I don't think it's that Collins is incapable. I think we just don't know what he is capable of yet. And that will be a fascinating thing to find out this week. All right, anything else, chat, before we cut you loose on this Monday? We'll have standard stuff all across the social medias. Brian Higgins 315 as the week goes on. Tell your friends, like, subscribe, the whole deal. Notifications on. Yeah, Kev, I don't know. You didn't get a notification for this? I don't know. Can we yell at Google? Hey, Google, the hell? Notify Kevin. I don't know how these. Do I need to do something? I don't know. I got to look at the buttons. There's so many buttons. I have so many buttons on my screen right now. Did anybody get a notification today? Hands up, chat. Did anyone get a notification? Because it's weird. Like when it's your channel, you can't turn on notifications for your own stuff to send to you. So it's really hard to know what's always going out the other way. So did anyone get a notification? And then we will file Weeze's motion to adjourn. We'll second his motion if anyone got or did not get a notification. Hands up, no hands up. Yes, no, maybe so. Going once. Devin got the notification. All right, that means it went out. If one went out, then I have faith in the process. With that, I wish I had a gavel. We second the Weeze's motion to adjourn. Motion passes. Have a good rest of the Monday, everybody. Stay tuned throughout the week. Plenty of more stuff on YouTube, the rest of my social medias. Follow them all. You never know where something will pop off. We got the Facebook, we got the Instagram, we got the Threads, we got the podcast. This will be available in podcast form if you want to say listen to it without pictures later. Whatever you want to do. And we'll be back here Saturday post-game show. It's a noon kick for Duke, so no lightning delays in the Dome, so probably about 3:30, not 6. And then, as you guys mentioned, it will be a 3:30 kick in Dallas next weekend. With that, have a good week, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.